All right, story time. Gather around, gather around. Spring break 2022. Our family and another family met in Fort Lauderdale for a week vacation. Had the kids. It was a great time. We had a great house that we rented. Food was great. Wine was great. There was also the same week that Will Smith slapped Chris Rock, so that was pretty funny to talk about. And I had a great vacation. On Saturday, the vacation ended on a Saturday. We all go to the airport. The other family flies out. No problem. Us, on the other hand, not so lucky. We're getting close to boarding. All of a sudden, we see that our flight's delayed, and then we see that all of the flights are delayed. This was a Southwest experience. What ended up happening, they had a technology issue that delayed all of the flights. So we were sitting there waiting for 2-3 hours, I think, and then finally ours was set to take off, and we get on the plane, we go out there, we wait on the tarmac for like an hour for some reason. Finally get ready to go. You can hear the engines revving. Pilot comes on. Sorry to burst your bubble. There's a huge weather system that's now moving across northern Florida, so we cannot take off. We have to go back to the gate and be delayed for further another hour or two or whatever. We'll have to wait and see how it goes. Now, we're flying from Fort Lauderdale, South Florida, to Texas, and if you look on a map, I did not think that you needed to drive north or fly north to northern Florida before you could take a left, but I'm not a pilot, so what do I know? Anyway, we go back. We're waiting. Finally, they come on and say, flight's been canceled. And that's when all hell broke loose because this technology issue was across all of Southwest. I think it even made the news. So all of the pilots, all of the flight attendants, and all of the customers were stuck. We're all in the same boat. And the weather system that moved across, it basically grounded everything coming out of Florida for Southwest. So just the airport is crazy. We're standing in line at Southwest trying to talk to someone. Both my wife and I are also on the phone with Southwest trying to see who gets through first. And long story short, the earliest and only available time that they could book a flight for us was Tuesday at 6 a.m. So it's Saturday, late Saturday now, but it's Saturday, and Tuesday morning is the first thing. So we have to figure out a place to sleep Saturday night, Sunday night, and Monday night, and just make the best of this. So we finally find a hotel, the Renaissance, which is a nice hotel, and it was over by where the cruise ships take off. So we thought, okay, cool. And we get there, not so cool. This place is just an absolute dump. The hotel smells like hamsters. The restaurant's closed. Everything's dirty. So we get there and we're like, we cannot stay here for 3 days. Like, this is not going to work with a kid. So my wife, God bless her, we find another hotel, ends up working out great. And we're there for a couple of days and had a really fun time making the best that we could of a bad situation. So Tuesday morning rolls around at 6 a.m. My wife and I get up and at about 3 a.m. Sorry, our flight was at 6. We get up about 3 a.m. to try to get ready for the airport and then eventually get our daughter up. We look at our app, flight's canceled. We're like, holy shit. So now what? So I'm in my boxers. I go outside at this is like 3:15 in the morning out in the lobby or in the hallway, not the lobby. That'd be awesome. And I'm on the phone talking to this lady. About 45 minutes later, the next available flight that we could get was Wednesday at 7 p.m. leaving Fort Lauderdale. That's because just this whole mess, all the pilots, all the flight attendants, and all of the customers. There were no rental cars and there were no flights in Fort Lauderdale, West Palm, Miami-Dade, Orlando. So we looked at any option we could to try to get north and then figure it out, but nothing worked at all. So we had to wait until Wednesday night before we could fly out. Now, the problem is my wife, she's a smart person. She decided to bring her laptop on vacation. So for her, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, she was down in the lobby and it was an inconvenience, but she could basically have some semblance of a normal workday. For me, not so much. Why, you ask? Well, I did not bring my laptop. So what did I get to do? Well, on Monday and Tuesday and Wednesday, I spent all day hanging out with our daughter, which was great. And she was a super trooper. Great movie, by the way. She was a super trooper during all this. You couldn't have asked for a better buddy to be. But she was still napping at the time. So every day, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, I had to go upstairs and pretend to or try to take a 2-hour nap with her in the middle of the workday and mute my phone, and it was just a mess. So we finally fly out 7 o'clock on Wednesday night, and we have to have a layover in Houston. We land at gate 1, and our flight leaving in 14 minutes is gate out of 101. So of course we're just sprinting through the airport. We barely make it, but we do. Everything's fine. Now the reason I'm telling this long drawn out story is because something that you'll see in a second, because this is where the fun begins. The next day, I'm on the phone with Southwest saying, we got some splaining to do because I need to get reimbursed for this huge fiasco. And they basically said, can't do anything over the phone, have to submit everything online. So I had to submit a timeline, all my receipts for the hotel and the food and any Ubers that we took or any of that kind of stuff. So we did all that. They said, wait 2 weeks and we will call you. I waited 2 weeks, never heard from them. I called them and they said, we never received it. Can you resubmit it? So I resubmitted everything else, waited another 2 weeks, never heard from them, called them back, and they said, oh, we haven't had a chance to look at it yet. Wait another 2 weeks. I waited another 2 weeks, didn't hear from them, called them back, and they said, oh, it's denied because it was a weather issue why you were delayed. So I had to explain to them it was not, and it was technology. They asked me to resubmit everything again, including that, which was already included, but I guess I had to highlight it or include it twice or something, and then wait another 2 weeks. Never heard from them. Called them again. Now we're 2 months past this already. And they said, well, the most we can do is expense you for like one of your hotel flights and one of your hotel nights and one airline ticket. So I had to stand up and say, no, like that's not going to fly. That dog don't hunt, as we said in Texas when I lived there. So I had to resubmit everything again and further explain why I thought we were entitled to more money. Had to wait another couple of weeks, had to have a conversation with somebody, and then they finally approved it for everything except the alcohol, which is a shame because there was a shit ton of alcohol in those receipts. But the moral of the story, the reason for the lesson is that was a great lesson for me firsthand to see being your own advocate is an absolute necessity in life. And also teaching that to your kids to be their own advocate and as parents being their advocate for them. And another takeaway I had was as much as I wanted to reach through the phone and just strangle someone during all this, I didn't. I was firm, but I didn't have to be a jerk about it. And I think that was important to see because both my wife and my daughter and even grandma, who was around for parts of this, saw me during some of that interaction and saw that I hopefully did a decent job of handling a difficult situation without resorting to just yelling and screaming and doing all that.